welcome everybody. Welcome back to Retrograde Wear Thought Pieces. I think that's what I should call it. Today we're talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus and what it can mean for Generation 9 and Pokemon going forward. So we recently just got ourselves a Pokemon, or this year Pokemon Direct, Pokemon Show that revealed the rest of the remakes for Pokemon Shining Diamond and Radiant Pearl. No, I got that. Is that Radiant Diamond and Shining Pearl? I always get it backwards, and it's funny because I'm actually on the website right now and I could just scroll down and it's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I don't know why I keep saying Radiant. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, Gen 4 is coming back in a big way because it was a lot of people's big nostalgic kind of game for back in the day. Like a lot of people cut their teeth or got started on Pokemon in the 4th gen. I was in high school when it came out. So I have another video of what Pokemon Gen 4 remakes mean for Gen 5 and Pokemon onwards. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it in the description below. But today I want to focus on what Legends Arceus means for Pokemon going forward, because I think there's a lot of things that you can infer, and I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it. Unlike the other video where I'm talking about what Gen 4 means, what people aren't talking about in terms of how that is going to interpret and affect Generation 5 remakes, Generation 6 remakes, and so forth. I think there's a lot we can really extrapolate from both games about how things are going to go on, how things are going to push themselves further, because it's not just, and the thing is, that's going to be another video, a third video that I've actually had a little time to think about. I'm going to incorporate a lot of what's going on in terms of the Switch's life cycle, and a lot of what is meaningful in terms of Pokemon and how it evolves. For lack of a better, or for the most appropriate ways to explain what Pokemon's doing with this new game is how it's evolving. So let's talk about some features. Different balls in Pokemon Legends Arceus. The balls in this game seem to do different things than they do in the modern era. The heavy ball is more like how the stone in the Safari Zone in Generation 1 was for Pokemon, whereas if you sneak up on a Pokemon and hit them with the heavy ball, the impact concusses them or knocks them or stuns them long enough, or does some kind of non-lethal damage or non-permanent damage enough that it shocks them, elutes them, and then it's easier to catch them. That's not what heavy balls do in the modern era, though. Heavy balls are Pokeballs that become more effective depending on how heavy a target is, and that's interesting because this having a different set of effects for things that have similar names means that this series is recreating itself. So there's a good chance that there's more to come. Like I already mentioned in the other video, Legends Arceus is definitely not going to be the last game. I don't really care what anyone says about how good this game has to present itself for it to be good. I can already see that a lot of people are going to be down for it. I'm already down for this game. I'm just waiting for a good opportunity to pre-order. I don't even know why I'm waiting. Probably shouldn't even wait, because there's no reason why you would want to wait to find out whether or not because this is, if you've been asking for something different, right away changing how the balls operate is a big function change, because the game in itself already implies different things. This game has a very Breath of the Wild, like people are saying, but it's also got a very obvious Monster Hunter vibe going on here that I think people aren't ignoring it. It's just they're not emphasizing it, because I have a friend who is super into Monster Hunter, and I have become super into Monster Hunter recently since Rise has come out, since Hunter Stories 2, which obviously that third video, there's a lot of things to infer, and I don't even have Breath of the Wild yet, but I already know how better things are that game exists, and why Pokemon itself is trying to follow a trend that it usually, because it usually doesn't follow a trend, it usually just sets its own pace, right? Even with its spin-offs, but this is a spin-off. It is obviously an answer to a lot of outcry among the fan base. So now, speaking about Monster Hunter Stories, Pokemon mounts, oh wow, not really a huge deal about riding Pokemon. Of course not. This has been happening since Generation 1. But now, unlike Sword and Shield, which was the big disappointment, right? That's the thing about the first iteration of any Pokemon game on a system, is that the initial step is always super lacking, while the next step is always super ambitious and super more intuitive and a lot more amazing of a experience. And you can already tell that not just Breath of the Wild, but Monster Hunter is having a serious effect on Pokemon with this Hisui Bravery in flight, Windeer for dashing about and running about as a steed, and Bascule Legion with its ability for surf, waterfall, maybe dive. They didn't show us. I could see that Pokemon Snap, which is see, even Pokemon in itself is redefining itself because it's understanding that certain things should be happening in Pokemon. Like, the problem with Pokemon Sword and Shield is that there's so many things that there were missed opportunities that people were saying like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. This is not the step that you need to, like, there are already Pokemon in towns and whatnot doing leisurely things like sleeping about. Why is it that the first Liepard you ever encounter in the wild area is not just is near a tree, under a tree that you know it would just be lounging beside? It's a level like 30 or 40 something Liepard, and it should just be like the dominant Pokemon in the area, because like it should have like some sort of custom moveset, but it's not sleeping there, it's pacing about like a sprite would in 3D space, which a lot of people have already like made better videos explaining why. But when you have a 2D game like Pokemon transition to something like 3D, you got to do more to embellish the fact that it's in 3D. You can't just leave it to your imagination anymore. It's not something that you can just do something like something static for a backdrop, because I already know, working with sprites, that it's very easy to get lackadaisical about how easy you can keep a person's attention just with something in the background that's moving at all times in a 2D space or in a 2D environment. But in the 3D environment, to fully immerse a character or immerse a person or player, you have to go the extra mile of doing a lot of what Pokemon Snap Pokemon do, where they are lounging about, sleeping, eating, having fun, raising, talking to one another, communicating, protecting young, battling one another. Like, those interactions are what make Pokemon Snap, even the initial Pokemon, like that's why people were wondering like, what's taking the series so long to start like having more of a real life impact of like what you see in the movies and the manga, but why you don't see it like happening in every single game, of like just feeling the liveliness of what Pokemon bring, because they're magical creatures. They're animals, but they can understand human speech. They're intelligent. They have their own sense of reflected self, more so than even animals do. But obviously that's not here or there. I'm not saying anything about animal lovers, so please, everybody relax. There's no sign of gyms in this game. There's no gym system. This is an ancient version of Sinnoh, known as the Hisui region, sorry. And I've listened to an extensive amount of information regarding the Inu, because Sinnoh takes place canonically in the Japanese region of Hokkaido, the northernmost region of Japan. And I think it's really cool that we're trying to like create a frontier kind of idea where we're linking a lot of cultural backgrounds. Like, that's the cool thing about this game, because it's feeling more JRPG than it's ever had before, with a dose of more action orientation in the Pokemon formula than we've ever gotten. I'm really excited, guys. Like, I'm really happy about what Pokemon Legends Arceus means. And then we've got these mini bosses and enraged Pokemon. That's good. You know, I can't remember whose video, but it's probably multiple people's videos now who have mentioned how cool the Marowak fight in Gen 1 is, and how we should have more mini boss fights where they're like Pokemon you cannot capture. But the thing that's most interesting about the mini boss enraged Pokemon is that you can take damage from enraged Pokemon who are much more aggravated towards humans, and hurt them and knock you out and send you back to a camp, which you can make and craft items that you will be finding out in the wild. They didn't show us gathering. They didn't see, that's the interesting thing. I don't think they want to try and emphasize how much you're going to be the hunter-gatherer and living off the land and survival stuff is going to be important to the game, but it's pretty obvious that they want to make this game feel like something akin to Breath of the Wild and or Monster Hunter, because people have been saying for years now that Monster Hunter is already the natural evolution of what Pokemon could one day hope to be, where you're not just catching your Pokemon, you're like harvesting them, but not, hopefully, I don't want to go to an era where we're actually killing Pokemon to like take, like, I would hate to like take Bidoof's goofy little face and its teeth, because its teeth are really good for like armor or whatever, and like, I don't want to make pauldrons out of a Bidoof's face. Well, actually, maybe I do, but I don't want to hurt a Bidoof to do it. Like, I just want to like, you know, shave off his fur. That's all. I will, if you can find some way to take what Rune Factory or Harvest Moon or even Stardew Valley have now with the whole monster collection, any monster collection game and farming simulator where you can hybrid that and put that and mold that into Pokemon, that would be a good way to like do it. Because the thing about this whole series, that like what Arceus means, like not just the fact that we're taking damage now, we have a dodge roll now, the fact that we have very quick transitions into battle now, there are no gyms, we're going to, the way to fill out the Pokedex is that we're going to be surveying, like you have to do multiple things where you have to figure out what the Pokemon eat. I don't even know how, they didn't show us how you get that that information, because catching them alone isn't the only way to get the info, because you need, and up to this point, I feel like we're being cheated because the Pokedexes don't give that kind of information. The current Pokedex, the modern day Pokedexes, don't have this information. And if we're collecting this information now in Legends Arceus, why aren't the Pokedexes much more advanced in the timeline? Unless, of course, this is another timeline, which is, I mean, everyone keeps making, like, yes, Cyrus's ancestor, Cirella, she obviously has a connection to Cyrus. We also know that the commander is connected to Professor Rowan. There's like obviously a lot of ancestry going on here, but if the timeline is different, maybe that's the reason why Team Galactic is the team that you're a part of, and that it started out in ancient times as a surveyor corporation, as a means to find out, study, learn, and work together with Pokemon to benefit mankind. Maybe a lot of the team started out this way, and then a lot like one of my favorite series, Katsukeo Hitman Reborn, where things started off with good intentions, but you get a leader who is, you get a few leaders who are bad eggs in the group, and then suddenly all of a sudden all the good aspirations that things started off with start to spoil on the line. Sucks, but this is really cool because because not only does it mean that we're getting like Legends Arceus, it sounds like the penultimate kind of Legends game that we can get, but we can also do Legends Rayquaza, we can do a Legends Mewtwo, Legends Mew, all the mystics, all the super powerful Pokemon in the series that never got like their own stories, can have their own ancient legendary stories about like how they, like we could do a whole thing about the Reggies because they were sealed away. Like, why were they sealed away? What if you are the trainer, the ancestral ancient trainer who had to save the world by enshrining them and using them as some kind of, like, I don't know, medium for guarding the red and blue orb that would have resurrected Kyogre and Groudon? Something cool like that. That's what I'm looking forward to in the next Legends game. But Gen 9? I'm looking at Gen 9 and I'm saying everything that I'm seeing in Legends Arceus needs to be in Gen 9. Like beat for beat. Like, that's end of. There is no, like, wherever it is, I don't care where it is. Like, it has to, like, they found their little loophole of how rustic things have to be by going to the ancient realm, ancient world, and that's fine. They can keep doing that for Legends. You can keep doing that. That's at least, how many generations are we on now? 9? So they'll make another, so they're making another like legendary Pokemon. I mean, I don't know beyond God itself where you go from here, but the Ultra Beasts, we could go to different worlds where entire worlds are Ultra Beast worlds. So I guess technically speaking, there is no true end to Legends games. But Gen 9, I need to see like everything that I'm seeing in this I need to see everything I'm seeing in Legends and Generation 4 remakes in Gen 9. Like, bring back Super Contest, make it a thing. Rhythm games, just use it, just reuse it. What do I care? Grand Underground for whatever Gen 9, because Grand Underground would be a better way to do wild areas where you can have different ways of changing different biomes that you would visit in a new region. So I am like, where have we not gone? Like, we've gone to God, and everyone's about to find out what happened with Arceus, whatever Legends implies story-wise with Arceus, that tree or whatever, the fact that we never actually got the event for the Azure Flute, and how that was apparently too hard for kids, whatever. Throw that all in there. But next game, why not go to space? Region in space, right? First satellite area where we put Pokemon into basically like artificial biomes that we live with in the upper atmosphere of the planet. Why not do that? Well, jeez, I've heard worse ideas. It would be the easiest way to control it and to make the Grand Underground and the wild area of that game, because I imagine wild area as a thing isn't going to stop because people expect it now. I just assume that because we have like the Weasel in Legends Arceus just sleeping there, we're gonna get more regular of that, of like Pokemon doing Pokemon things, like they're feeding, like if they walk into grass, they disappear, and then a different Pokemon will walk out of the grass kind of thing. Like, you'll have time will be like flowy like that. Hey, if that's an idea they want to steal from me, sure. Like, code in each individual half hour and like make certain mons like kind of spawn out, like make the long grass spawn out stuff, so you can run in and you can run around and get rare stuff like they did. Like, I don't hate the methodology of Sword and Shield because it does work. It's just that it needs to be a little bit more intuitive of like what real life and 3D space can mean, because it would mean like you'd want a Pokemon that's rare as you approach to run back in grass, and you have to chase it. And like, if you had Sword and Shield mechanics where you had your bike, you could be fast enough to catch it if you saw the little exclamation mark. That would be cool. Like, that's, I imagine, I don't think that's what's going on with Arceus. I could be wrong, but that would be amazing to use Legends Arceus and Sword and Shield as a basis and put that in 9, because that makes a lot of sense, and that's much more intuitive. I think that's a really good idea. Not because it's for me, just from sitting here and spitballing from the fact that I've got written notes here, and just speaking off the top of my head. Like, that sounds like it would be the most one of the most enthralling things you could do for anybody playing the game. Although, of course, I want to hear what everybody else wants to say, and if you have better, please, I would love it, guys. Just outdo me. Yeah, even like Hisui region Pokemon, how is that going to work for Generation 9? Will we be able to trade up and into that? Because they're ancient Pokemon, right? Technically, they would be either extinct and fossilic, or you'd only have like a remnant of something like Hisui Growlithe's horn to bring back a Hisuian Growlithe that's still like biologically needed its like soft little horn to insulate itself. I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out what they choose to do, because they could literally do anything and then probably be good. I just hope they don't try and cut back too much. Like, if they need to make each generation deck short, like, I'll take a solid 300 to 400, and you could maybe put a national dex of another 200 to 300 with DLC expansions like we got with Sword and Shield, Isle of Armor, Frozen Tundra, forgot the name, whatever. If you wanted to do that again, that's fine. That's good enough for me. I don't know about everybody else, but I know that's good enough for me. But there's something that I don't want. Like, I don't mind not having gyms in Legends Arceus. Like, we don't necessarily need gyms in every single version of Pokemon. Like, it obviously doesn't and then we already proven that it doesn't need that, because Colosseum and Gale of Darkness already did that. But in the mainline games, gyms don't always have to be a thing. You can switch it up just like with Generation 7. But what about having the Survey Corps of studying Pokemon and having more in-depth Pokédexes? Like, what about my little idea of them being on a satellite? What if it was a research Pokemon in space satellite where you had to create, before in Metroid Fusion, how everything went horribly wrong, or in Metroid Other M, like all the expansive environments? Like, imagine that, where you're running around and you're doing chores and whatnot, and there's like gym leaders who train Pokemon in different regions of so like there's like a central district of like a city where people live, and there's like a whole Savari Zone area where docile Pokemon live in parks and areas and stuff with people, and like you can visit these areas, and the station opens up to you as you're like a Pokemon slash aide, and you're also like, all kids are allowed to like take part in the Pokemon challenge, because that's also like a form of entertainment for a lot of people here on the satellite, and lots of people like have like a whole system of like who's going to win and sponsor. You could even do a lot of like the emphasis of trying to like make the player hyped about being someone that people know is really doing well in the Pokemon League challenge, like, are keeping up with you. You can even do that, because you'd have the ability with technology of keeping up. What can you put in Rotom? A tablet now, a tablet that literally follows you around, like turns into like a little floaty skateboard, futuristic skateboard. We had a skateboard item in Pokemon Crystal in Japan that we never got, that if you attached your phone to a special Game Boy connector, it would give you the ability to use skateboard faster than it would, and I think it was like faster than walking, slower than bike, but it was more controllable. I've never seen the sprites for it though. I don't even know how we could even get it, but either or, I like that idea coming back in a big way for something like this, just because it just plays off the idea of all the things that's going on. Because the other thing that's interesting about a far off future Pokemon series is we could do a number of things of introducing new legends, and like not creating, because since we're going really far back in time and we've got Pokeballs and the first Pokedex, now we have ourselves like a central point in the past. So maybe we can start off something in the future and keep with the remakes that are in like the more modern, quote unquote modern era, because we have Gen 5 coming up with Black and White 2, and depending upon how things go with that could be happening. That could be like, I'll get into that in the other video. But yeah. Oh, also, just with the idea of doing more in a research kind of way, you can go out and take photos of Pokemon, spend time with Pokemon, feed Pokemon. It would be like a Pokemon kind of space rancher kind of thing, where Pokemon you find like you're combining the ideas of a Pokemon ranger to a Pokemon trainer and a Pokemon aide and a Pokemon snap, right? Photographer. So like you research information and you print small articles, and you could do something very Persona-like, where you can choose different paths you want to go down, where you want to research like effects of Pokemon on items, battle items, become a battle master, learn what kind of moves or what the best kinds of strategies are. You can do multitudes of these things. things, but you'd always still need to get photos of your Pokemon, like take poses of them in battle, or like take up, or like all your pictures on your Switch are like literally like you take a picture of your battle during, and then you give it to whosoever in the game, and they rate it, and that gets you money, for example, and like you can trade that in for a number of things, and like those are just some of the, like I could keep going, but I'm just saying like doing more as a person in the world of Pokemon is a natural step that I think a lot of people are looking for in a Pokemon mainline game, and Arceus and remake and the Gen 4 remakes are kind of giving me, even from the basis of where Sword and Shield is now, like you can already take pictures, right? You can take videos and such, it's just that nothing happens in a resulting consequence of it. But in Legends, like there is a consequence, and now we're in a post Snap 2 world, so like I don't even have Snap 2 yet, and but I have to get it, so they already have me in hook, line, sinker. Like even Mystery Dungeon as a game is selling really well. Like there are obviously more routes and avenues for Pokemon to flourish that we could be turning into mini games within mainline Pokemon games, and like just extending out olive branches for people to be like, hey, if you like this thing about Pokemon, engage with it. The Digimon franchise has been doing this forever, but that's another video. It's a third video about how these other things have been influencing Pokemon. So I mean, even the fact that we have Hisui Pokemon, this new region, like being in space, would create so many variables and variants of Pokemon, and it being somewhere far in the future, like there's no telling what time period you could tell these changes were happening. So you could change up all of the 151 Pokemon at the first gen again, and any number of generations 2 to 9, and whatever new Pokemon have appeared since 9's appearance. Like I don't know, what if there's a Mega Hisui Growlithe evolution for Arcanine, right? Because people are already saying, oh, what if Hisui Growlithe doesn't even turn into an Arcanine? Like what if it turns into something else, because it's called something else, like some kind of stone fire type dog thing, wolf, which would be amazing. I forgot the what are they called? Kamui? Yes, Kamui. I don't know what Kamui it is, but that would be cool too. Like just the fact that we can build on those things. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can build on. The fact that we have mini bosses that are enraged and can hurt you. Like I cannot stress how I do not want to lose the ability to be hurt by a Pokemon, because Pokemon are dangerous. They're not just friendly towards you, like a lot of the plains and the forest creatures are, but Beedrill probably, like if you're coming near their territory, not the friendliest, or if they feel threatened, they're going to react threatened, right? And if you take enough damage, you're gonna black out. I don't know if we're gonna have a situation where some mons would be like devastating, like hurt you devastatingly. Like I mean, a Teddy Ursaring is a grizzly bear Pokemon. It could hurt you. It could, like, one good slash across your chest and you're bleeding out no matter where they find you. You're definitely dead. So I don't know, but I do know I don't want to stop taking damage, because that's the closest we've gotten to the Pokemon manga, Pokemon Special, where Pokemon are lethal. Like it is, if you, the trainer, get caught in something, you will take considerable damage where you will need medical attention and or die. And I want to keep that. I don't want to lose that. Not because I'm trying to make the series more edgy, but the series has to be realistic. Like I'm glad they showed us that the Pokemon can become aggressive, and then just even lightning. Like that's the reason they showed us that one, especially, is because it's AoE. It's like you don't even have to see something gruesome or see something spectacular as a move to be like feel like there's a threatening presence from these Pokemon, but it's going to be threatening either way. I love it. I love what we're doing. I love where Pokemon Legends is taking us. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Share with me what you are looking forward to seeing in Generation 9 going forward. Do you want more things that are happening in Legends to be put in other games like me? Are you hoping none of it goes away? Are you hoping that like maybe we can get following Pokemon? Because I haven't seen that yet for Legends. That's not a thing here on the website that I see. Nothing about following Pokemon yet. But who knows? There is a scene of where all your Pokemon are around you, or all the Pokemon that you've encountered, like the enraged ones even, are gathered around you. So maybe we'll get that. Who knows? I'm looking forward to finding out though. So like I said, thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you in the next video on Retrograde Wear. Thought pieces, thinking thoughts. We'll figure that out later. Bye.